Okay. You have to hit okay. All right.
Yep.
We're back live. Got it.
Yep.
Awesome, man. So tell me the story about when you took your kids to the Super Bowl.
So what I was going to tell you was that I didn't hold back for my kids.
Mhm.
The reason I'm sharing that story is I know people who have said, and this is good for your listeners to hear, especially if they're in their 30s and 40s and concerned about having enough money when they retire.
Right.
Obviously you have to be concerned about that. But I just learned to live without the money that went away each month. I didn't even consider it. It wasn't even part of my budget.
Yeah.
And I just put away some each month and just like start investment on a regular basis, a little every year, dollar cost averaging every month, every couple of weeks, whatever. But the reason I'm saying is that, I mean, when your kids are gone, you look back and like, I never have to say, oh, gee, I wish I'd done more with my kids. I coached all their teams. I was involved in their life. We took them to Bible studies. We did Awanas with them.
Yeah.
I did not want us with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, Dad. We did all kind of stuff around the house. We took them on multiple vacations, took them across country on 3 trips. We did 5 trips to Hawaii. We went to Cayman Islands. We went overseas. So I wasn't too worried about the retirement part. I knew I'd eventually be okay. I could always live on a little less.
Right.
But I'd rather have the memories and a little less than a whole lot more money and no memories. Because when your kids leave, like you look back, there's an emptiness you feel like, was I a good parent? Did I spend enough time with my kids? Did I do enough? And no matter how hard you try, you're always going to look back and say, I could have done more, could have spent more, wish I had done more.
Right.
But like an example of that is like when we went to the Super Bowl in 2017.
Yeah.
2016.
It was the Patriots Falcons.
I want to say it was the 2016 season. Maybe.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And so I think Super Bowl was 2017.
It was in Houston.
Houston, yeah. And so I remember I was talking to my fantasy advisor, and he's like, because he was a Chargers fan, and they always sucked. And he's like, man, I wish I had the money. I said, I wish I had the opportunity you do. I got the money. He said, I just wish I had the opportunity you do to go. Because I took my kids to like the 3 championship games up in Foxborough.
Nice.
We went to the Deflategate game against the Colts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Everybody makes a big thing about deflating the ball, but we had like 350 yards rushing that game. We could have carried a bowling ball. It didn't even matter. Nothing to do with that.
They're cheating. That's the only reason they won.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It was a total annihilation. And then we went to the Jacksonville championship game, which is amazing. It was a great game. I think that was the last game we went up there, and we went to a few other playoff games and stuff. But anyways, what I'm saying is my financial advisor called me in 2017, right around the playoff season, Super Bowl season. He's like, you should take your kids to the Super Bowl, one of your kids. I said, I can't take you one. He said, well, take all of them. I'm like, okay. So I spent like
all 5.
Yeah. Well, no, Brittany couldn't go. Brittany had she had a nursing exam she had to take.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a shame. She ended up dropping out of nursing school a couple months later. It was a waste of time, but she missed the game. But anyway, so spent a whole bunch of money on those tickets, about 5 Super Bowl tickets. I mean, think what they cost. So, but it was like, I said, okay, I hope this is worth it. So we got to the game, and it was, we're down, I think it was 28-3 with like 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third quarter. I mean, 99% chance the game's over. The chance of them coming back is slim to none, to minus none. And so the Atlanta fans were being all rowdy. They were talking crap. It was the year of Deflategate, I think it was. So like deflate this, deflate that.
Wow.
And so they were just being obnoxious. And I told my son, I said, let's go. I said, because we got to drive back to Charlotte rather. And I'm like, this is going to be like a 20-hour drive. I can't listen to the radio. I just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
And so he says, let's just stay for one more possession. So they scored a touchdown. Gostkowski boinked the ball off the upright.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the math. I'm saying they need 2 touchdowns. They need two 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
And they need to get a turnover somehow. I'm doing the math, right? They're down by like 16 points at that time. And I'm like, how is this going to happen? And so he's like, let's just wait, give him one more chance of the ball. I'm like, okay. So the Falcons come down. They complete this crazy pass to Julio Jones. They're down like the 15-yard line. All they got to do is run the ball 3 times, kick a field goal, and the game is over.
Yeah.
Over.
Yep.
And so they get a penalty. They get a holding penalty, and then Matt Ryan goes back, and he gets strip sacked by Dante Hightower.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, this is going to happen. I told my kids, I said, this is going to go to overtime.
You felt the momentum shift at that
moment.
Yeah. Nice.
And I told my kids, I said, this is going to overtime. We're going to win. My Kyle's like, Dad, no Super Bowl's ever going to overtime. I said, it's going to happen. Trust me. I feel it. Anyway, so
wow.
Of course, you know the story. They came back. They won the toss. It was an amazing catch by Julian Edelman. Won the ball. They jumped in the air. Caught it like an inch from the ground. It was an amazing comeback. Anyway, my point was that, you know, spending all this money on my kids to do things, it's a big, I don't know, I guess I'm really thankful I did that.
Because it's more important to have that memory and have that experience than a little bit more in your savings account.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you might not be able to enjoy at an older age.
And so we still talk about that, you know. So I guess.
Well, I've seen the posters. I think didn't you frame the tickets?
Yeah,
I think I've seen the tickets at your place. What's your? You mentioned you went to Hawaii and you did some extensive traveling. What's your favorite trip that you did with your family?
Probably the Super Bowl trip.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, but we've done a few trips cross country. Like we flew out to Las Vegas, and then we did like trip all the way up to down California and up the coast of California to Seattle. And
nice.
Did another one. We did do like up to the northern part of Montana and down, you know, the Yellowstone, that area.
Cool.
Tetons and stuff like that. But I think the point I was saying was I've gone 3 levels down here. Sorry, but to come back, bubble up. My point is that I've been talking to some people about this retirement thing, and I guess, you know, as advice from some of your listeners is, you know, of course, save for it and plan for it, but live your life accordingly. Don't base everything on someday I'm going to retire. This is the most important thing, because it's not.
Live in the moment. Be present. Be present.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. We were talking about that the other day at one of my workouts. One of my friends has stage 4 cancer. He's a guy I used to work with years ago in the clubs, and he was a bodybuilder. Great guy, super friend of mine. Love the guy to death. He's a really good guy. And we were talking last week, and he's like, man, he said, I'd give anything to go back just for a few minutes back when we were in our 20s. And, you know, I guess the point is that there are so many things in life. We tend to live for the highlights, the Super Bowl trips, the Hawaii trips.
Right.
But most of our life, 98% of our life is not like that. So we have to learn to enjoy and relish
the small things.
Yeah. Like the group I was working out with, my F3 group the other day, it was my birthday, and we were working out. We did a bunch of burpees that day, and people complaining and whining, like 64 burpees in like 45 minutes.
That's because it was 28 degrees outside.
It was, yeah.
I would have been complaining too.
5:30 it was dark, yeah. So, but you know, the point is just like I told the guys, I said, you know, you all complain about this and stuff, but I said, there's going to be a day when you would give anything to be with this group of guys and
the camaraderie
to do 64 burpees. Yeah,
exactly.
And so, but our lives are all full of that. We have moments in our lives, like the things we do, like, you know, going to our kids' soccer game. I have another soccer game tonight. I'm so sorry, these soccer games.
My son's basketball game this morning.
Yeah, it's like I want to go ride my bike. I want to go do something else, but I got to go to this game. But, you know, the point is to go and enjoy it, just enjoy that moment. So
yeah,
I think back to my retirement point, the point I was making was you know, I'm grateful for that. And sitting here and talking to the guy about my plan for retirement. The other plan the other thing I've learned is, you know, from listening to these advisors that say, you know, people, they don't spend enough, spend in the early years, the go years,
right,
and don't hold back.
Yeah,
because there's going to be a day when you'll want to spend and you can't, like, you know, or maybe your wife gets cancer and dies, or you get paralyzed or something happens, or you get dementia. I don't know. You know? And all this money, and the concept of dying broke is that, you know, spend the money to help your kids, others, make a difference in the world, and use that money and die broke. So that, you know, you write a check to the undertaker and it bounces at the end, right?
Leave it all on the field.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So,
well, do you guys have any upcoming trips planned with your family, or what have you guys done more recently?
We did a trip to Italy to see Kyle. He's out there in the Navy.
Okay. How was that?
That was great.
What'd you guys do?
I just went, like, landed in Rome, did southern Italy, went to Sicily, some of the beaches, Catalina Islands. I can't remember what it's doing.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful down there. But
great food.
No, the food sucked.
I
don't eat that
hear
stuff.
It's authentic Italian. Oh yeah.
I don't eat pasta,
against your diet,
all that crap. I don't eat that stuff. I mean, I'm sure it tastes great. But actually, you know what? So, like, I wanted to get, like, I remember one day I wanted to, so I said, I got to get some fish. So they had like salmon and spaghetti. I'm like, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So the lady brings out this big bowl of spaghetti, and I'm waiting like 5 minutes. And I said, excuse me, ma'am. I said, when is my salmon coming? She said, it's right there in the bowl. And I look, and these little cubes, like, you know those little gum things you buy at the register, like the little white gum things like this? Little pieces of salmon, like cubes, like mixed in my spaghetti. I'm like, what the heck? Wow. And so I was struggling to find like vegetable stuff or fish stuff.
Healthy food.
Yeah. It was all like, pasta and bread and wine. And so then I even asked, I said, okay, I want spaghetti tonight. I want meat sauce on my spaghetti. She says, we don't make that in Italy. I'm like, what?
Spaghetti and meat sauce?
They don't put meat sauce in their spaghetti over there. Maybe they do, but she said in that restaurant, they didn't do it. So
wow.
It was like the food was overrated. And
what about activities? Did you see any historical sites?
Yeah, we went to the Vatican. We went to St. Peter's Cathedral.
Okay.
But actually, it's a funny story. Sad story. We went to the Vatican, and we were kind of pressed for time, so we kind of got away from the group. We just said, we're not here to see all these things. We want to see
here to see the Pope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he knows we're coming. And so we asked this guy, where was St. Peter's Cathedral? And he told us, he says, it's around outside. You got to go outside. It's down the block.
Yeah.
And so we went down there, and it was a different cathedral. It wasn't the one we came to see, St. Peter's.
Okay.
And so we couldn't get back in because you had to be a tour guide, and there was like a line like 1,000 people long. So we went to the Vatican, and we never got to see St. Peter's Cathedral. We were right there. And so we couldn't see it for some reason. So we never
got turned around. That reminds me of the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Getting lost at the Vatican.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing those stories, Mike. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and recording. This is officially our second podcast together. So now that we're doing the upgrade, at least we have one good looking person for the video podcast here. But
you want to talk about any kid stories or anything?
My battery's running low on this, but I can tell a quick story. I just got back from the mountains. I've been wanting to see my mom and my brother, who moved from Charlotte to Tennessee about 6 months ago.
Okay, yeah.
And so we decided to get a rental cabin in Brevard in the mountains of North Carolina.
Okay.
With a hot tub, and spend some time with me and Emerson, Eli, Jenny, my mom and brother.
Got to have that hot tub. That makes the whole trip.
That was my only prerequisite, is the place had to have a hot tub.
It feels so much better up in the mountains.
It was really nice. And so it was cool. We went snow tubing. This place is called Black Bear Snow Tubing.
Okay.
And Eli got to do his first snow tubing ever. Just had a blast. Cool. It was funny. So we went down once, and we were, you get to the bottom of the hill, and as we were getting out, I looked down, and Eli gets slammed into. They sent somebody too fast and knocked Eli down.
Oh man!
Literally busted his butt.
Was it a tube that hit him, or
it was another tube? Okay. So they're supposed to wait until you clear the area, but they'd sent down the next lady, and it just took Eli out.
Wow!
He was like there, and then one moment he was gone. I was like, "What?" Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" The manager came over, and Eli, wasn't happy about it, but he survived.
Was he crying?
He was crying, and we had to walk it off. It was a little bit of an embarrassment. Yeah. But my mom went and bought him some donuts, and they sat by the fire. And but it was good. We went hiking and went and got some good food, and not as good as Italy, but it was fun because, for me, I've really had to fight to get to see my kids and spend time with them. So, I really try to turn my phone off and really manage my time when my kids are around. Yeah. So, I'm just, worried that, they're going to grow up and, have, move on with their lives, and they're only 11 and 6, and they're already kind of starting to do their own thing. And I'm actually, the reason I asked about Hawaii is I'm taking Emerson on a father-son trip to Hawaii, to the Big Island for spring break.
That's cool, man.
So we're going to go.
Volcanoes are out there.
Yep, we're going to go explore the volcanic island. There's an observatory with stars. I'm going to go do like a jungle tour. They have black sand beaches.
Yeah.
Snorkeling, surfing. So
That's
really,
cool.
really looking forward to it.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah,
cool.
So
you might want, if you want to do something really cool, take them to Kauai.
Okay. What's in Kauai?
Kauai is like when they film a lot of Jurassic Park movies, like the coast of Kauai is like one of the most beautiful places on the planet Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. Look it up on the internet to see the pictures. They're amazing. Yeah. We did a sailboat cruise with the kids out there. Beautiful sunny sunset cruise, and there were whales out there, literally whales jumping out of the water, and dolphins, and
oh my god!
I think I saw the Loch Ness monster, but I wouldn't. I got a little bit of I got a little bit of my camera. I think
not 100% sure.
Not 100% sure. Yeah, but it was cool. We saw it. It was really cool, and it was amazing out there. It was just such a memorable trip.
Yeah.
We also did a helicopter over the Kauai coast too.
Oh, that's what they did in Jurassic Park. They flew in on the helicopter. Yeah.
And you see the whales in the water.
Oh my gosh.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, when I die, that's where I'm going to have my ashes sprinkled. I'm serious. I said, I want you guys to take the money in the insurance policy, buy tickets to Hawaii, and sprinkle my ashes there, because I won't be there. I'll be in heaven with the Lord, but I want you guys to have a nice trip and release my body and forget about it.
Beautiful.
Move on. Yeah.
I love that.
We did that with my wife's mom when she died.
Yeah.
We cremated her and went out to sea and had a little burial out at sea, sprinkle the ashes out there. And
that's awesome.
It just makes you realize, when you do that, there's closure to it. It's like they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
They've moved on to their next life, wherever that's going to be.
A better place.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Not everybody gets there, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can keep hoping and keep the hope alive.
Yeah.
So. Well, thanks for imparting some fatherly wisdom, Mike. It's always fun to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to get together for this podcast. So
Good,
we'll wrap it up right here. And
hopefully record the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll see if I can patch it all together.